Hello and welcome to the final rounds of the first ever Starcraft Amateur Hour tournament.
Starcraft Amateur Hour online party tournament.
Yes, and this whole tournament and party has been sponsored by NVIDIA because the winner of the games you're about to watch right now receives an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 460 with 768 megabytes of GDDR5 memory, which GDDR5 memory, I don't even know what that is. I just know it makes buttery tastes come into your mouth when you play StarCraft.
And butter's good on everything.
Everything.
But that's actually not entirely true, Guns Akimbo, because NVIDIA is the complete sponsor of the tournament, but my sweat and blood is the sponsor of the party.
That is true. You did a lot of work, and I did nothing.
You do so much. You massaged me while I did all the work.
Yeah. Also, for the second, third, and fourth place winners, they get the new StarCraft 2 novel. And for the losers of the quarterfinals that happened, they all get SHOKZ Starcraft 2 Mastery Guide. That's spelled SHOKZ. He has an awesome online guide. You pay a small one-time fee, and you get updates for life of all the new StarCraft 2 tactics, online macro game where it's at. Everything.
The metagame too. He really follows the metagame, and which is different than a lot of guides, which just, they put what things in a stasis, and they have one set of information they never updated. This guy really follows things and sees what's popular and what's working effectively, and changes his guide as it goes. So that's really cool. I approve.
Yes. And so the two players that have made it all the way to the finals, they are epic StarCraft players so far.
They are really good. This tournament overall has had a really high quality turnout in terms of player skill. I was totally impressed for a small tournament.
And so the players are Ponderous, who is a native Protoss player, and the other player, Kenjim, who is also a Protoss player. So this is a PvP mirror matchup finals round. Best of 5.
PP best of 5. Best of 5 PP.
Exactly. And so, are you ready to watch the finals?
I'm ready to watch some PP.
Are you sure?
I'm always ready to watch PP.
All right. I love PP. All right. So, here we go right to the game.
Let's go. Yeah, game. It's a Protoss.
Protoss and Protoss.
It's a Protoss. It's a yellow Protoss.
All right.
So we're on Metalopolis. Metalopolis is the first map of the best of 5 finals, and we chose it because it is just a very solid map overall. Multiple playstyles are effective on this map depending on spawning location. You can have really close spawns where the map tends to favor really aggressive rushing styles, or like we see here, you can have really long spawns. This is the longest spawn on this map.
Spawn on this map.
The top, I guess you could call it top left to bottom right, or 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock spawn locations. And really, this is going to favor a really long macro game because both players are going to be able to, the top player is going to be able to expand left across the map, and the bottom player is going to be able to expand right across the map and really, take multiple bases that are easy to defend. So I'm interested to see if players are going to use the map in that way or if they're going to do something more aggressive.
Yeah, and again, I do love the versatility of this map, of how you just never know what kind of game you're going to get.
It just sucks that it's nighttime all the time on this map.
I know. I really wish they make a daytime level, because for someone like me who has trouble seeing anything sometimes, if anything's dark, I just kind of go, I kind of get scared.
Yeah. It all blends into one, into a murky, foggy darkness. You know what?
Just like life.
This is totally, I'm giving a call to all the awesome map editors on StarCraft.org. If you guys can make a daytime version of Metalopolis,
a sunny one with happiness,
we on Starcraft Amateur Hour will try to make that map as popular as we possibly can.
Yes, we will.
So that's my call to all of you.
And so right now we have exactly mirror build. Oh no, we almost had exactly mirror builds. And so now Kenjim going with a second gateway, which his opponent Ponderous now sees, and I'm wondering if he's going to place. Yep, there he goes. Places one in response, because as usual in a mirror matchup, you, for the most part, need to be matching your opponent step per step, especially with these early gateways.
And that's especially true of PP, where gateway count is so important against as a Protoss against a Protoss. Really, the game can be won or lost early if you let your opponent get ahead in gateway count, because
2 zealots kill 1.
Exactly. But the thing is, it's a really weird relationship where, a bunch of, more Zerglings will obviously kill less Zerglings, but the less Zerglings will take some kills. 2 Zealots will obliterate 1 Zealot. 4 Zealots will obliterate 3, to the point where, it's a weird relationship, and I'd like to see bar graphs and, advanced mathematical data about why that happens, but for now, we're just going to have to accept it.
Yeah.
So anyway, Ponderous making the right choice regardless, and putting down that second gateway in response to Kenjim. I was actually wondering why Kenjim was delaying his assimilator and pylon so long, and I guess that's why he was planning to put down a fast second gateway. But because of the active scouting probe of Ponderous, that was not able to really get him an advantage anymore.
Yeah, and you saw Kenjim cancel that first gateway in the first moment he put it, because Ponderous was not yet out of his base.
Yeah.
And then I think he just at the point of being like, I can't get this guy out of my base quickly enough, and if I want to, try to get ahead right now, I gotta put this gateway down right now.
Plus, as a side note to that, when you see it, he also can be thinking, he just let me cancel a gateway. What if he goes 2 gateways now and rushes? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's always this back and forth of that's why gateways are so important in Protest, because it's really like this mind game of who can get that extra gateway in, can win the game early.
And so we see a Cyber Core going down at the same time, and a Forge going down for both players at the exact same time.
Right.
And both players very, very aggressive in sending probes to just check what each other is doing. You've seen Kenjim throw a couple of probes away just to get up the ramp, see if anything weird's happening, and the same for Ponderous, just watching a probe die at this ramp, just trying to get that peek up to see what are they building. Are they going Stargate? Are they going, for a Stalker heavy build or something? And
the only real significant deviations from each other's builds I've seen so far is that Ponder seems to be like a few seconds ahead in his general build order, but Kenjim seems to be getting those early warp gates, which if he decides to be aggressive, those can be really, really strong, because that'll make up for the fact that Ponderous is slightly ahead on his build, because you'll be able to warp your units right in. But it looks like Kenjim is getting a Stargate instead of going for a mass gateway build, which is kind of confusing to me, because usually when you research warp in that early, you usually will try to get 4 gateways as fast as you can and leverage that for something. But here he's getting a Stargate, I can only assume, for Void Rays.
Yeah, on this map I can really only think that as well. I do like the little deviation you see between the playstyles right here too, of they both got a Forge at the same time, but what did they do with that Forge? Kenjim took the defensive route, got a little bit scared, said, you know what, I'm going to build my cannon at the perfect placement for a cannon where you really protect this entire section here. But Ponderous said, no, you know what, screw the cannons, I'm upgrading my ground weapons on my Zealots because I have so many, and I'm going to come in and kill your cannon.
To me, that really is indicative of the fact that it looks like Ponderous is massing up Zealots. He already has, it looks like 9 Zealots, so I think that he... I think that he's using that +1 upgrade to really leverage the fact that he's amassing an army. He's really ahead on food count right now, 54 to almost 34, so almost 20 food ahead. While his opponent looks to be getting those cannons for, I don't really know why. I'm not really a big fan of that choice. I mean, if Kenjim had scouted some sort of Stargate tech, scouted Void Rays for his opponent, or scouted something that those cannons would be good at killing, I would be for that. Or if he was using them to secure his natural, which doesn't look like he's doing, I would be for that. But he himself is getting a Stargate and getting a Void Ray, so his build seems a little confused to me.
Yeah, and I think that really could be as just a result of playing in a finals match in any tournament, where you're a little bit worried of the player coming in and crushing you. But really, as a Protoss player with a choke this strong, you don't have much to worry about, because Zealots take so much damage, and you have just enough. You could just keep having Zealots pour into this choke and hold this as long as you need, until a cannon's done even. But we do see
sentries are also really good at holding those chokes indefinitely also.
Exactly. So the cannon really at this point would have been much better timed to be timed right as he's going for the expansion to protect it then. And again, that Stargate was down for quite some time until the first Void Ray has come out. And you do see that in the food count of wasting a couple of tech structures, wasting a couple of buildings when you don't need them, while Ponderous has been like, I don't need anything that I don't need, if that makes sense. And that's why you see that 67 to 53 food count differential.
I mean, Ponder's macro has just been spot on, and now it looks like he is starting to move across the map. I do feel like Kenjim's build is a little bit confused. Kenjim is able to see that he's moving across with the observer, so hopefully he's able to prepare himself. And Kenjim's own Void Ray taking this opportunity to move across the map itself, around the edge of the map, I'm presuming to go and try to... Oh, and we see Kenjim's observer is going to be killed by the... You really have to be careful with your observers because... you know, of stuff like that. You don't want to fly your observer right into a photon cannon when you don't need to.
Yeah.
It looks like Ponders is getting the +1 leg upgrade. Not the +1, the leg speed upgrade for his zealots, which I was going to comment on earlier, which is why I think he got that Twilight Council, really amassing a large zealot army. It's really the backbone of his army currently, and it's a big army too. Still about 20 food ahead of his opponent. Mostly in zealots, and that +1 leg speed is going to make this push really strong for him. But we see the Void Ray finally made it to Ponders' base,
and forced to cancel that expansion, and that is huge right there. That Void Ray, even if it does nothing else in this game at all, it delayed that expansion. It put Ponders and Kenjim back on the exact same level. Food count aside, it put them exactly economically in the same situation. And I think this Void Ray harass might be just about done, and yep, those Stalkers are going to push it right away. That's all Ponderous needs to hold it at bay.
Yeah, but I do still feel like Ponderous has a pretty strong lead here. I mean, he really is in control of the center of the map. He's even built a pylon there. His food count is pretty far ahead of his opponent. It's 92 to 66 now. I don't think that Kenjim can push him back, and having map control like that is just so important.
And Ponder's building this Meng statue right here to just stand outside, and this Meng statue is so tall, it's looking right into the base.
Yeah, you can see everything that's happening in Kenjim's base right now.
It's cool that Protoss can build Terran structures.
Statues, yeah. But they can't build most Terran buildings, but only Terran monuments.
All right, so we do see Robotics Bay going down right now for Kenjim.
The robotics support facility for Kenjim, which can only mean Colossus are coming. Which I like. I like the build that Kenjim has done, except maybe at a different order, because I do feel like Warp Gate, Ground Army into Immortal, and then Colossus is a strong build. I don't know. Maybe if the Stargate and Void Ray Harass would have been stronger earlier, and then into this build. But either way, regardless, I do like the build. He just needs to play some catch up now because he is still pretty far behind his opponent.
Well, I do like the Robotics Bay choice right now because realistically, Kenjim knows that Ponderous is trying to go for an expansion, and so right now, he knows he might be trying to take the expansion again, and he's going to be wanting to focus on probe production.
Yeah.
And if he gets out 1 or 2 Colossi and keeps pushing his army in that slight lull where Ponderous is just catching up with probes for his expansion, that is the moment to push. That's the moment that Kenjim can come ahead in this game and take it for his own. And hopefully that's exactly what he's aiming for. But on
Ponderous has also already built his own robotics support bay as well,
which is a little bit behind because of the expansion.
Yeah, it is a little bit behind, but with the fact already that his army is so much larger, it's still that 20 food lead more or less. I don't know. But at the same time, Ponderous' army, as we have been saying, is mostly zealots. Only now is he adding a large amount of stalkers, and I think that the Colossus might be more effective against Ponderous' army than against Kenjim's, which does have those Immortals and that Void Ray.
Now Ponderous pulling back from that battle, does not want to engage just yet. Both these players playing very cautiously, not wanting to commit to a battle they're not 100% sure they can win. But again, if Kenjim wants to win, he's going to have to push very soon, because once this expansion fully kicks in, which is really about right now.
But it looks as though Kenjim has also put down his own natural expansion as well. It's a little bit behind his opponents, but it is crucial that he try to match expansions and not let his opponent get too far ahead, because his opponent is already leading on army count.
Yeah, I seriously, I really do believe that if Kenjim wants to take the lead, he has to go right now. Again,
I don't think attacking now would be a good choice for him, because he only has 90 food to his opponent's 130. Somehow that food difference has gotten drastically out of control.
Yeah, and I think that's just Ponderous is just so good, such a good macro player at this point. Every step of the way, he's been a few seconds ahead of his opponent.
Yeah.
And you're seeing that now in the fact that he even has an expansion and is still so far ahead in food counts.